Hey, how are you? Welcome back to this Global Hack Week, API Week. First, I noticed that I always forgot to introduce myself. So, I know for many of you who haven't watched Global Hack Weeks before or haven't seen me in hackathon or similar, that would be weird, right? I will start with that. My name is Alberto. I'm from Mexico. I'm the one of the two Mexican mainly hacking coaches. It's a pleasure to be here, and especially for this closing up of the week, right? I think it's me, then Asiman, then me again, and then just closing ceremony with Siddharth and Cecilia, right? So um, that will be a great closing. Don't miss these streams that we have coming up. Also, well, sorry, I was about to say more and more things without having. Well, no, I think I introduced myself already. I just want to mention I'm a big fan of photography. I'm a coffee lover also, and I'm very passionate about plants. So that will be all. Continuing with the Global Hack Week schedule, don't miss out on the next streams. This is the second stream for a series of three. That's Introduction to GraphQL. Yesterday we watched, well, I don't know if you watch it, but we were taking the theoretical aspect of this Gateway tool. Actually, I owe you something. That's yesterday I was having trouble with my Node installation. I realized I had two versions of Node installed, and one from Brew, one other for End, the Node version manager. It was kind of messy, and we have some troubles with Angular because of that. So right now we are going to make what we couldn't accomplish yesterday. That's consuming the countries the countries example from Trevor Blades, uh, and we are going to do that very quick in Angular, and then we are going to start creating our own GraphQL server, right? So very quick, let's start with that. Let me start showing my screen. And this will be it. Oh, yeah, let me add it here. Perfect. Also, let me remove myself from here and add in this. Oh, come on. Okay, yeah, perfect. Here I am. So, a little bigger, a little more bigger. I think that's enough. These are some of the queries we ran yesterday. The get continents, get languages, and get country of Global Hack Week hackers. Yesterday, you didn't mention to me in the comments where were your country codes. For me was MX because I'm from Mexico. Maybe we have people from Canada, I don't know, or from um, Japan. So if we run these queries, we get those emojis, right? So Trouble has these on a repo. I'm trying to get access to that repo. So let's scroll down to that. The emoji 5 icon countries, these ones. Let's view it. So this is the repository, and we have an example for doing this in Angular, right? So this is where we leave it. We had this problem of Angular and so on. So let's start from scratch that. Let's move to introduction. So here we have slides and stuff. And let's say mpx ng. And how was it for creating a new Angular project? I cannot remember. It's up in the Angular documentation to check that out. Docs, installation, create a new project, new. Okay, that was simple. New um, Angular says GraphQL. Could not determine executable to run. Okay, maybe we have some cache left. What? Error could not determine executable to run. I thought I fixed this, but let's do this really quick again. A complete log can be found here, so let's open that. Verbose CLI says using npm version, info of the node version we're using. Um, Error could not determine executable to run. Am I saying ng? Yeah. So we have here the ng. Okay, ng version. There's no ng, but there's an mpx, right? Yeah, we have the mpx. Maybe I'll make this bigger for you. Sorry about that. Uh, yeah, I think that will be better for you. Sorry. I think you want even more. Yeah, yeah. With this, you can see. So the error connect terminal executable run get bin from manifest users local node modules npm at exec users local leave node module leave blah 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 at async. Whoa, npm gs registry. So there is no ng. Um, let's try installing directly Angular globally. This time with the corresponding node packages. Hope that's just a second and we can close this log. Okay, now ng version give us a result. That's perfect. Then we can say just ng new Angular GraphQL without the MPX. You want it with SAS. Yeah, no, it's creating, and I hope this installation now goes well because this is where we were finding troubles yesterday. So npm it's kind of slow right now. I heard of some other options. Um, Bun, I think, was the one. We can Google or something like that. Bun, yeah, fast, all in one JavaScript runtime. So it's supposed to be even faster than Dino. Uh, Node.js compatibility. It has built-in APIs. Well, that's interesting option. I haven't had the chance to take a look to this, but hey, we have our desired output here, so no need at the moment. And now we have to add the. Oh no, this was not the one. Apollo Angular while running the Angular CLI outside. Okay, yeah, I need to move. Then I probably then don't want this here, but I want it outside. So and the Angular now it's empty. I can delete it. Perfect. So I have this, and now I have the project where I want it. We're determining here the package will be installed. Yes, I want to install. This is going to ask me for the URL, so this is the one we want. Installing again. Let's give it time. Okay, here's the URL for the GraphQL endpoint from Trevor Plates and the version of GraphQL we're using. Okay, this is the problem. We couldn't find this. So let's add that. Let's check the package JSON. We have now the Apollo client. Yes, Angular Apollo or Apollo Angular. Yeah, Apollo client. We couldn't enable allow synthetic define. Blah blah blah. Let's check this with our great ally Copilot. Um, so this is going to be an edit one. And let's. Oh my god! It stopped sharing. I don't know why, and I don't know in what moment. Uh, Give me a second. I'm so sorry. Okay, here's screen, and that is me. And I have a question. Hello, Alberto. If I haven't attended the first part, can I will be able to understand, or it is required? Don't you worry. My advice will be stay right now, and later you can see the recording of part one. So a lot of things will start making sense. But if you have any question, don't you feel pressure like, oh, what about if I ask about this and he already explained? Don't worry, don't worry. I mean, the intention of this session is to have uh, all the knowledge for you. So don't worry about not understanding anything. You can ask, and I'll try to answer, and that can help to the other students also, because if they didn't catch it, even if they attended the session one, that will be a great thing, right? So, stay, enjoy. I hope you learn a lot, and I recommend you to take a look to the session one and the recordings, right? What reminds me, I didn't share the check-in link, so thanks for that. Here's the checking link. Also, I am going to share the repo again, where all of this is going to be published. So here's the repo, and I think that will be all of the links I need to share at the moment. Um, we were checking why this was the problem. We couldn't find yes next. Uh-huh. Okay, so we will keep that changes, and we are going to add Angular Apollo once again. and the URL was here. We need to copy and paste it again. This is the what? We couldn't find ESNext async iterable in the list of the file. Okay, maybe Copilot doesn't have enough information for this, so let's directly Google that. And add a polygon not working correctly. I'm afraid that's the case. We couldn't find blah blah blah. The side note, versioning, let's say I did yarn global add Angular CLI ng version. Yarn new test app, cd test app, yarn ng add a blue Angular, and it works. Solve it by temporarily changing app model import URL. In my source to this get app model, it looks like the app model import URL remains in. Okay, that's one solution because I see a lot of them. Okay, to fix according to the GitHub issues seems to be added AX next to the list. Okay. Inside the compiler options. Oh, I'm going to delete all of this and I'm going to add it here in the ts config. Angular compiler options, just the compiler options. This will be lib. Yes, next. Target ES 2022, model ES 2022. Compile and save files. Okay. And it's supposed to work now, I hope. This is so strict true. Okay, let's try one more time. Of course, we need the URL. Okay, just one problem left. That's allow synthetic default imports. I'm wondering why is that? Async synthetic default imports. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste the full tsconfig JSON. Okay, and let's try one more time, and let's try with the URL. Wow, that's a problem again. Huh. Couldn't enable by it's required. Command running this screenshot. We have the same. Why is that then? Packages. Let's see under the comments. Thank you. That answer half the question, but I'm still getting the error received. Okay, yeah, we still have this. We couldn't. It's required. So please add it to your TS config. I think we can add this to the TS config, but after doing this change the error, are you able? Strangely enough, when I remove, okay, um, strangely enough, this says if I do this and I run it again, it will work. So we trust many things that are strange. We're trusting this is yeah, that worked. Uh, so that's perfect. Thanks. So for a weird reason that worked. So now we need to add one other model. That's the GraphQL model. The previous command will generate the GraphQL model TS. So let's see if that's true. In the source, in the app, we don't have a GraphQL model, do we? No. These are the slides. These are the public. GraphQL dot module. Yeah. No. Okay. So probably for you, which contains the configuration of the Apollo client. The app model is also updated with the necessary with all necessary imports. Okay, Apollo Angular. This is npm, and this is in the introduction. So let's take a look to that. Uh, uh, uh. So the repo is this one. It says let's take a look at another time to Apollo client. But okay, I'm guessing we don't have the core update source app config ts source app. We don't have an app config ts, do we? Yeah, here it is. I'm so sorry. So this should be the one configured with Apollo client core, but this wasn't installed. So installation, it's failing for what we see. Apollo client core, yeah, we're not having this either. Well, Apollo client. Well, it's inside core. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But the URI endpoint, we need to set the one that it's meant to be here. In all of this, we have now the correct endpoint. That's perfect. So we have that configuration. Let's just check here with the started guide, compatibles, blah blah blah, the Angular toolbox. Okay, we can hide even Copilot at the moment. We don't need to. Let's take a look at this again. App module should be updated as this. Oh, that's not the app module, sorry. Angular.json. Oh, yeah, because we don't have modules in 19. That's maybe why. Wow, let's see the compatibility issues that this may get. Um okay, so let's see the versions. Uh-huh. It doesn't have a. If you're using Apollo Client v2, please make sure to use the Apollo Angular v1 and okay. Incremental build for small, flexible usage. Now you create components that connected to the GraphQL API family to demonstrate the power of all blah, 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 blah. You components GraphQL server using the Apollo service. Um, so if we don't need the module, we can continue with the service. So let's copy this. Country service ng generate service Apollo. Well, no. So country with an S. Countries service. Okay. Maybe it changed the generate schematics, app, application, class, component, config, directly, word, interceptor, library, resolver, service. Okay, yeah, it was with not a flag, but service. So here, this should be the service. Country service. Service. uh, oh my god. Let me delete these two. And let's do that again, but without this service. Perfect, we have it now. And I am going to override that as this. We have the country service, countries, inside countries. Um, I should get that. Countries. Example, graph, source. Maybe we also need another thing that's This is base of the country's leads and provinces data source. So we probably did this, and then npm install countries list, composer package list. No, I don't think we should install that. It won't make sense if we install that. Write the countries. Where do we get the country's country then? Country service, country's component. What's the country here? What's supposed to be? Or just the type? Okay, I get it. I think it had that over here in the schemas, in the locales. No, in GraphQL DS, test, schemas. We also have the country from the country list. Country with capital C. For from country lists, type country refs, country, and code string. Yeah, but this is another thing, the one we wanted. I'm just going to say any. Uh, my bad for that. Don't worry. And okay, now we need the component. ng service, ng component, country. Yes, Angular. Yeah, the countries component. Yeah, let's do that. And we copy all of these, and this goes inside the TS. Countries components TS. We have this. Let's see. The selector at countries. Perfect. Countries component HTML. All of this. Okay. Everything here looks great. We have even the countries from the country services. We have these that country services. It's used before its initialization. Uh, what? Okay, I think it's just a matter of changing this. It's used before initialization. What? Well, let's fix this. Let's add the on init. Let's just add the observable. And then what it says. constructor. What? Okay, we have that now. And here for the view, we are going to change this in order to work with Angular material. Cannot find name document, so we probably need to install Angular material for this. Let me see. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, you have questions. Well, we're building an application that consumes the continents API in GraphQL using Angular, and specifically with Apple Angular. Head quality, blah blah blah. Let's go to get started. Let's save that to the project. Angular material. Let's add that. Would you like? Yes. Install that version. And this will be the uh, blue one. Yeah, no, we don't want that. Perfect. Now let's close this and open it again. Could not find name document. What's what do you mean? Do you need to change your target library? Try changing the lib compiler option to DOM. Hmm. Compiler could not find name document. Okay. I'll do one thing, that's refresh. Completely dead. Here, quick. I'm going to make this bigger again. And let's see if we still facing that error. Once this load, yeah, we still have that. Hey, share your. Oh, this is interesting question. Well, no, interesting problem. Okay, so we need to add the tsconfig, the JSON. Dumb one. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, thank you, Copilot. The data source says can bind to data source since this is not a known property of table. And let's take this also. And I'm going to add the context of the component ts config. Oh, okay. Undo. Undo. And here we have it. Let's see. That's a great question. How this works without the, yeah, without the model. The ng command will install Angular material, blah blah blah. The ng add command will intentionally perform and allow the script. You're done displaying a component. Let's display a toggle component in your app and verify that everything works. You need to import the mat slide toggle model that you want. Yeah, yeah, that's because I need to install mat table. But where? If I don't have a module anymore. Um, no module, no module, no module. Yeah, no module. Let's take a look to. Well, we can take a look to Angular now that it's version 19. Done the documentation on the essentials, composition with components, using component, blah blah blah. Okay, dynamic reactivity. Okay, let's take a look at this. What are services? How to use a service? Okay, I need modules. Modules. Angular is a web framework that involves blah blah blah. Provides features faster than ever, works at any scale, open source first, create community. Where does this page mention modules? The Angular team recommend using standalone components instead of ng module for all new code. This guide to understand existing code built with ng models. So standalone component. Anatomy of components. Every component must have a TypeScript, yeah, an HTML, and a CSS selector. Okay, understand that you provide Angular specific information for a component by adding component. We have that. Yeah, perfect. Um, the object pass. Hey, how come you guys not get many views? Says, hey, Doc, this. How come you guys don't get many views? I'm in OCCP stream. He has 1K subscription and 30 people watching. You have 10 times the amount of subs, but one tenth of amount of viewers. How does that work? I have to admit, actually, I don't know, but our main intention it's not to win viewers or subscriptions. You know, I don't know. I don't know the channel you're mentioning, like the OCCP, but the main intention here is to share and to build together, right? So these sessions, like these whole global hack week idea, it's for you, the amazing community we have, to learn new things, to share skills, to win experience, and that's what we get from this, right? um, Also, I think it's a great opportunity for us the coaches to, how to this to say this, to test our like abilities and to push ourselves. That's what I try to do every time I run a session here on the Global Hack Week. And for you, the attendants, I just like to say that we are glad that you joined to us, and we want to encourage you more, and we would love to have more viewers, but not for the reason of having viewers, but for the reason of um, getting more of you hackers involved in this community and building great things. So that's an interesting question. I don't know if they don't promote this like in more ways, or having the change of a marketing criteria will affect. But yeah, that's great. Thank you uh, for joining, Ductis. Do you guys do instructional videos in other languages, like in Portuguese, Spanish, French, things like that? Well, um, you have a point in there because we don't. I know there are many diverse languages some of the coaches speak. For example, me, I speak Spanish. Es mi lengua madre, entonces lo hablo bastante bien. And I have to do this in English, of course. But yeah, that's the reason. This is my first time watching, and I feel encouraged by these. Oh, sorry, I missed it. By these, and I believe I can start creating an API soon for my app. Hey, I really love, Paul, that you share these with us. This kind of feedback helps a lot, and I'm so glad that you feel like sharing, and also I'm very fulfilled with the idea that you feel that confident about creating your own API. Not enough Spanish. This is the only reason I am learning programming, to make videos in Spanish. Oh, that's great. What's your native language, Doc? This. Well, that's great to see you all participating in the comment section. Let's continue with this. Um, you provide the element specific, the object passed to the components, also style URLs, template. By default, components aren't styles, only affect elements, blah blah blah. Using components. I want to know how to because I came from old Angular and I don't know where now I add modules like the one from these. I even lose it. Oh my god, I lose it. I swear I had open. Oh, here, yeah, Angular material, of course. Um, but in Angular material 19, how do I do this? Oh, it's inside. Okay, this is component imports. Okay. This is component. So we also have imports, and this is just standalone. Okay, that's great. Now, okay, it solved it, but now I have more. Paginator. It's not a null element. Also, I'm missing paginator. Import math depaginator. Um, if I want depaginator, I should look for depaginator. Here it is, and how I import it, the API. Okay, common, paste it, and add it here. That's great. Wow. This is my first time with Angular 19. Again, I came from other versions of Angular, and that's just interesting. Now, inside the app component HTML, wow. Let's see, ng serve. This command is not valid. We're rolling. Okay, wait, running outside. Oh yeah, because I need to get to introduction and serve. Okay, it's building. Let's see if you have any other. My mother tongue it's Spanish. Oh, that's great. I can speak it, read it, but not write it well. Oh, that's great. So you migrate or something? Hey, Quakers, it's great to see you on the stream. It's almost the end of Global Hack Week. Attendance really drops off at the end. Also, a lot of attendants are Indian and it is early morning for them. Oh, that's a real fact. I have to admit that. A lot of attendants, it's from India. So that's great because a lot of the community it's happening there. Actually, I've heard that what is it? Oh my god, I forgot the name. A hackon, yeah. Sorry, the hackon of India was like super huge, and I think that's just amazing. Um, but yeah, you're right. Like attendance, it's normally from there, but also from other places. Like, for example, where are you from, Quakers? And let's now open the local host. So, okay, let's clean all of these and let's clean all of these. And I want just now to add the countries component. And for that countries component, the selector app countries. Where are these? I forgot. My God. App countries. App countries. Main. That's perfect. So let's wait it for refresh. App countries occurs in the template of component, template app.component HTML. Why is that? Oh, okay. It's not a known element. Maybe because I'm not. Yeah. Let's make something quick. I don't know how this works now in Angular 19, so I'll ask for Copilot help, and I would say here just add the app countries component. That was what I did. Okay, maybe we are missing the import. Uh, I'm from Florida. Hey, Allison, thanks for joining from Florida. Uh, oh, you're from the U.S. Quakers. That's great. I feel sad for the Spanish-speaking people. If they don't learn English, they don't learn programming. Well, that's not only a truth in programming. You can take out programming and you can put whatever you want. Like the truth is that a lot of resources, a lot of even the papers, right? And that's not even for Spanish speakers. That's for all the speakers in the world that are not English speakers. Um, these are like a very controversial topics, so I don't want to get like in troubles. But um, the truth is that English it's like now the standard because the U.S. it's like the empire. So we need to take the language of the empire, right? And and until we don't as a society change and the like complete uh, knowledge base it's in other or in a more accessible way, that will be it. Your comment, like, not for only programming and not for only Spanish, but for everything, for every knowledge and for every language. If you don't speak English, that's hard, right? But I kind of share what you're mentioning. And for example, in open source, one of the ways I try for the people to teach, like, there's not only technical contributions to open source, but you can contribute translating. So if you are lucky enough to speak Spanish, for example, and English in a high level or enough level for translating, do contributions translating, create content in your language, right? So yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. The one provides instructions in Spanish. I'm from Florida. Yeah, thank you. Also, I'll repeat this. Oh, maybe some do, but I haven't found them. It makes me sad, but also motivated to learn to help bring up my people from poverty. That's great. Oh, actually, one of the schools of programming that has like the same mission. It's called Platzi. You can check it out. They are trying to change like how the regions in Latin America. Depend on manufacture and agriculture and stuff to change an economy more based on technology. So you can check that out. I met a lot of people from India, a good number from Mexico, UK, Africa, so and it's well, yeah, it's quicker, but all speaking English, correct? Yeah, that's the point, and it is not a problem. Don't get it personal. Like, I understand I needed to speak English in the world in order to have more opportunities, and bad or good, that's the thing here. So if you don't learn English, you don't learn computers. Very sad. Yeah, some language has chosen English as the global X language that they use. Actually, again, it's not a matter of the mainly hacking. It's a matter of the common industry. Like in every way, even for example, a lot of technical papers I've been reading lately are created from people from China, and they are in English. It, it's like, why? But for me it's great because I know English and I don't know Chinese, right? Like, again, right now translators are in a, how to say this, very accessible way, so I could take the whole document and translate it to Spanish. Even so, if I didn't learn English, it will be more complicated, and there are things that are not just direct translations. I get that, but hey, we're trying to make that accessible for all. Uh, they don't have the resources to be truly multilingual. That is why we want to learn programming to teach them in the native language. Great. I see some people program and the screen shows in Arabic. How is that done? Uh, that's a great question. I haven't. Uh, I don't know. That will be a great thing to know from the people that comes of a country where they don't have like these. I don't know the word in English, but let me look for it. Uh, Alphabet. Yeah, I think that the word's alphabet. That it's more like pictographic. If you are going to give two advice to the young programmers out there, well, you tell them. Well, for this specifically, I'll just tell learn the basics. Like, don't fall in love with the technology. Like, for example, here Angular. Don't fall in love with Angular. It's like smoking, and I'm sorry because of this metaphor, but that's how they teach it to me. It's like smoking a brand. Like, if you smoke a brand, if you tell a young kid to smoke a specific brand, when they grow up, they will be smoking that brand all over their lives. Uh, so I know the main purpose here is not to encourage smoking, but hey, try another type of cigarettes, right? You not that brand, and that's a terrible advice. But the point, in translation to technology, it's did just not think like, for example, one language and one technology, one framework, where others are like the coolest thing, and just fell in love with them. Um, the point is learn the basics, learn, for example, algorithms, data structures, learn how the program you're running works internally. If you have strong fundamentals, like if you have strong basis, then you can learn a lot of things more easily. And I always say, learning how to program, it's not the same as learning syntax for a programming language. There are two different things. So you can be an expert in Python because you know like all the syntactic sugar and stuff, but in general terms, you cannot be a good programmer, because learning how to program, it's learning how to structure your train of thought to give instructions to the computer. uh, you can think about algorithms, you can think about complexity, you can think a lot of things for being a good programmer without even thinking about um, syntax, right? So that's my first advice. And my second advice will be understand how you learn, and that's it. Like, understand yourself first. That's the first part. If you understand how you work, like what works for you, like for a lot of people, they tell like I don't understand if I don't do. I am one of those. But there are other people that they need to watch. Like they need to take a lot of information without even trying, without even doing, and then they can reply it, right? Or they can even improve it. So understand how you work, like how you learn, how you improve, and apply that. So, but you have. I know this can be, or this can sound like a silly advice, but you won't understand the power of it until you actually start paying attention. So that's the second one. You are very strong, man. I'm proud of you. Thank you for your time and effort and being kind enough to share your knowledge with us. Okay, no worries. Actually, we are like, I have to admit, of course, this is not for free. I'll be doing that. Actually, one of the things when I enter the mailing hacking, it's that I was doing this for free, and they were saying like to me, "Hey, why don't you apply to be a coach?" And I did so, and that's a great thing. Also, if you want to apply to be a coach too in the future or right now, you are free to do. So you can share that mission of sharing in other languages, right? I keep doing other streams, not only for the mailing hacking. I keep sharing with my community, my local community. I keep sharing with friends, with strangers, with etc. Right? It's just a great thing to have the time or the opportunity to connect with you people. And also, I again I take these opportunities to try to improve, to try to push myself to do different things, and it's just a pleasure to share. Thanks you for staying here and watching the stream. Um, yeah, the problem. Sorry, I got distracted. We were doing this, so I'm going to undo the change because it's not making sense. Um, I have this. The problem then might be uh, maybe we're missing the import in the TS file of the app. But well, no, I just want to say this. Well, it's free for me. Yeah, of course. That's the final point, right? It's for free for you all to watch and see, right? That you were right on that. What was the problem? It seems the style URL proper is incorrect name. It should be style URLs plural. No, that's not true, or it is. Oh yeah, that's actually true. Oh well, no, but that's not the problem. Countries component, it's here. Yeah, no. Countries component it is not used with the template of. Oh, okay. Maybe I need to read the whole message. Uh, App countries, it's not a known element. If app countries, it's in Angular component, then verify that it's included in the component imports. Yeah, it's here of this component. If app countries, it's a word. Oh, okay. This problem was solved time ago. Sorry, I lost track of what we were doing because of the conversation. Because it was a great conversation. Thank you so much for being active here in the comments. Um, yeah. So what's happening here? Let's inspect our countries component list. We oh no, the countries component. So we have a name column, a capital column, currency, a margin, phone, and continent. Right. So if we return to our example of the Trevor one here, uh, we can know that the continent has many things to share: code, countries, name, and string. Right? Um, what was the one? This GraphQL. So we have the name of the country, the capital, the currency. Ah, yeah. Sorry, I was talking about continents, but these are countries. So we have the capital, code, continent, currency, emoji, languages, names, native, blah blah blah. So it could be a great thing talking about languages to add a language column. How can we do that? If we are going to get the continents, we're not just going to get the continent's name, but the continents, the country, sorry, the country's emojis, but the country's languages, and that languages are the name, right? So making these, oh well, you already told me some of you are from the U.S. Actually, I think all of you are from the U.S. now. I think so. So in the U.S., let's add that. Get all the countries. So in Canada, they speak English and French. In Japan, Japanese. In Mexico, Spanish, and in the U.S., English. That's how easily a query in GraphQL can change, and we didn't have to change how we structured the backend, right? Of course. So let's do that changes in our countries component. So we now need to add the where it would be great after the currency. After the currency, we are going to add one called not the population, the languages, and inside sorry, languages. Inside the displayed columns, I'm going to add then the emoji currency here, languages column, of course, and else, right? Route.language dot name. And here I'm going to set the countries, get country service, and inside the country service I need to add inside here language's name. So we can come back, refresh, and what's happening? Okay, we probably have an error. I'm going to console log the data source to inspect what's happening. Let's inspect. So we have the object. Okay, now data source. So yeah, we have the object operator, the source operator. Okay. From the data source, we receive a row.name, row.capital, row currency. Let's inspect continent, the continent, how this worked. Route continent.name, route language.name, language, sort, header. Yeah, why this break? If I remove these from the languages, will this work? Yeah, this work. Let me check in the query if I'm doing this correct. Languages, languages name. Yeah, I'm doing this correct. So I'll want to inspect then the data source. Mhm. Operator, source, prototype, constructor, source, subscribe. Oh yeah, because this is unobservable. Okay. Um, yeah, data. So we have the array of this number of elements, blah blah blah. So we have the language. Okay, because yeah, I know what may be happening because this is an array. So um, I'm going to say fix this should take languages as array. This play all array name. So let row languages map cd and white this rate. Bind cannot get the signed column. Oh wait, why it's not? Yeah, well, that 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 can be easily solved with that. Okay, perfect. Let's move to here, and this should be working right now. Another thing I could do, it's just say row dot languages the first element dot name. Let's see if that works. No. Could not find column without leader, which is that's why. Oh, that's why. Language, yes, languages, and then I'm guessing I didn't need this, and I was just missing the S. My bad. Perfect. So yes, I have this updated. Well, sorry, we have this updated. Andorra, United Arab Emirates, Albania, blah blah blah. Let's find one of the ones that we are here. Probably United States, Washington D.C. It's the capital. Uh, what's this? The currencies. Why they have many currencies? The USDC. It's the one, right? Well, it's English speaking. North America. If we look for the C, probably we can find Canada, Greek, Turkish. Well, just see, we updated this and not a matter of seconds. Even now that we know the problem, we can add one more. What would you like to add? Remember, we have emojis, languages, phone strings, dates, continent. Yeah, probably the continent, right? So let's do that. Continent and the continent name. So let's update our query as well. The continent and the continent name. Here in the countries component, we are. Oh, we already have that. My bad. Didn't realize that. What else? Were we missing the capital? We're missing maybe currencies. No, we already have currencies. The emoji, we already have the emoji. Phone, I think we have them all. We're just missing the AWS region. Why not? Just to prove this works. Now we have the AWS region. Um, just for that, I will copy pasting here instead of all the continent. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I need to come back. All AWS region. Uh, it's very important to add the AWS region here as well. Here, I'm going to add another one for the region column. region and this, and I think the name of this needs to be exactly that, so that's why this won't work. And this also it's AWS region. And this is it. We add it. We didn't have it before, and now we have it. And here, this it's what it looks like. Let's try now to underfetch. I mean, trying to say not send me the capital, right? So if we come back here, now we don't have information about the capital, so this breaks completely, of course. Uh, yeah, because this is breaking, I'm going to add a validation here. So now this don't break, but there's information that we can show. So that was what were missing yesterday. I know we are a little behind of schedule, so I'm going to say, okay, we can, okay, now, and let's return the capital since we don't want an ugly and missing data over here. Oh my god, oh yeah, I stopped the server, sorry. And I can delete this. And now just git status. Oh my god, I am missing a T. And we have everything we want. Git ignore, edit config, readme, Angular, package JSON log, package source, blah blah blah. Yeah, git add all, git commit. Um, we are going to say fit. What was this? Trees added Angular GraphQL working example. This git push. Remember, I already give you origin main. I already give you the repo where this all lives. And now let's start to creating the backend for our own service. Um, sorry, I moved too far. I just want the developer. I have this on global handweek API and GraphQL. Yeah, and you need to backend. Now that we are on backend, we can close all of these. We can close all of these. We have our introduction. We are going to create our backend. I'm going to copy paste this one here. Oh, before that, I should update this. This is to intro to GraphQL, not intro to the other one. And same as here. GraphQL. I'm so sorry for those quick changes, but now here I can make the HTML and I can make the PDF for you to access to it quickly without having to do the marketing if you don't want to. Now let me open this, copy the path. Let's close what we're not using anymore. This Trevor one, this control list, blah 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 blah. I think all of this, it's great to not have that. We're going to open and even we can close this one. Session 2 of building a GraphQL backend. We're going to use Node.js and Apollo server. Uh, you are going to create this about the posts. So we are going to create users and posts. So this is our schema definition in schema definition language. So remember, this can have variations depending on the language, the programming language you're trying to implement this. For ourselves, this is going to be JavaScript. This is an example of how these are going to look. We are going to try this out, and we are going to set up a GraphQL server for that. Well, that's it. So let's move to here, and let's say to Copilot, not this, here in the backend. Okay. Give. I want to create a GraphQL server. Give me the structure for all I need. So what do we have here? The utils, the config for the database, the server, and the schema. So let's say that. Type definitions, define your GraphQL schema, resolvers, where we implement mutations to set up the GraphQL server using Apollo Server or Express. Database configuration. Remember, we're going to use for this Apollo Server. Um, Database configuration. Okay, let's give more detailed information. This is going to be a what's the name for this? Well, now that I think, in the rest one, we created one for tasks. So I'm guessing. Well, I'm working on this on the move. So this is going to be a task manage app. I am going to use MongoDB uh, and Apollo server. Create. So what's happening here is that this gave us the schema one. So probably we need to drop this on the backend. The server one, same on backend. The configurations on the backend, and the models on the backend. While we're missing the utils, yeah, we're missing the utils, but I think they don't. We don't need it. So we have the type definitions in the schema, resolvers on the schema also, database on the config, models, tasks, and the server uh, in the main, right? The initial structure for the GraphQL has been created, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much. So let's start with the server and let's see if this works. Require.end config, that's perfect. Const Apollo server, require Apollo server. So we probably need to make those installs. npm e.env install.env npm install Apollo server, and I think that's it. So do we need Mongoose for this? Yeah, and Mongoose. That's great. So let's return to the server. Server requires Apollo server. It has the connection DB method. This should set the URL. Where to get the URL? Server listen to. Well, for this, I'm sure we need to process URL Mongo Yuri. Also, I need a new file which is the .env, and here we need the Mongo Yuri. We're going to keep that in a second. The connected DB connection B. Oh, we already have that here. So yeah, we did just didn't need this. Procedure. Okay. We need to update this because this has changed, and now the recommended connection is different. But we will do that in a second. Create an Apollo server, Apollo server, type devs, resolvers. We probably better inspect Apollo server page to verify that still the accurate way to do this. Introduction to Apollo server. Also, Mongo Atlas. So for Apollo server, um, introduction to Apollo server, learn how to build scalable production-ready GraphQL APIs. Apollo server 4, blah blah blah. It's an open source packed compiling GraphQL serves. You can use Apollo server as the GraphQL. So Graph provides straightforward setup, incremental adoption. Let's get started. This tutorial helps you to obtain a basic understanding, blah blah blah, create a new project. We already have do this. npm install and npm packages. Type node project with npm. Okay. Package.json file. Yeah, we have that package.json file, of course. Initialize dependencies. Um, Apollo server and GraphQL. That's the one we're missing. So then probably this won't be needed anymore. Create the source directory with an empty index file to contain all the code in our example application. Okay. So the recommended thing is to do it on TypeScript. So let's follow the recommendations. We need the source. Also, I'm going to np on install the Apollo server that we already installed before. Great, we don't have that anymore. So here it's another thing, save dev TypeScript node, and the backend should contain a source and an index ts. And the config JSON. So that's in here in the config one. So let's copy all that preconfire. Oh my god, now that's in the config, I'm sorry. Compiler options is with the resource, outdir is this, library is AS 2020, target model is AS next, node. Okay, I think one thing we're missing before we continue, I have a problem. Uh, it's this, and that should modify our package JSON. So now this is a type model, that's perfect. Install dependencies. We already installed these dependencies. Oh, yeah, because I was missing. Finally, replace the default scripts entity in your package with the following. We don't have scripts yet, so that it's a good thing. Also, let me move this to the top. Okay, we have that recommended. And about the start, okay, now for defining the GraphQL schemas. Uh, I think we follow the recommended ones. I'm going to say source index. I made some slight some changes to follow uh, Apollo. What was it? Server recommendations. Well, I now have a question. Uh, there is that Apollo server, but there is this also Apollo server. I just want to make sure that we're focusing on the right thing here. Okay, the Apollo server package now it's a part of Apollo server 2 and version 3, which are now end of life as October. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now I feel more confident of securing these. I make some changes to follow Apollo server recommendations. First is to use that instead of Apollo server legacy package. Make the adjustments to in order to fit the project. And let's continue reading why the compiler works. Define the schema. We have Apollo server, implement Apollo server standalone. A schema collection is a type of definitions, hence type defs that together define the shape of queries that you're against in your data. Define your data set. and following into the bottom. Okay, define a resolver, create an instance of Apollo server. So part to part, I kind of think I know how this should work. Execute your first query, npm start. If I go to the okay, there are some changes that we need to check. The index. So it says the adjustments have been made to use the Apollo server and in standalone configuration. Let me know if you need more notifications with Apollo server. Apollo server standalone. Yeah, that's an index. What was modified? Also server. Server was modified. Was moved. I see exactly the same. Okay, so I think I need to move config here, schemas here. Uh, I'm even thinking models here. I can delete server GS if I correct. Start server. Yeah, so this can go deleted. This also can go deleted. I think I think it will be great to change GS files to TS once. Oh, I see. So let's delete this. And the config and the models and the schema that works here. Perfect. Everything that has gone here, right? Um, why we're we still have the server.js at root if and the index.ts inside source. There is an inconsistency in the file structure. Ideally, the server TS should be moved into CRC directly to maintain a clear organization structure. Okay, but what would be the role of the index? The index typically serves as the entry point of the application, initializes the server, connects to the database, and starts the application. If you already have a TS handling these responsibilities, and unless you want to act as a central hub, blah 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 blah. Would you like me to consolidate? Yes. consolidate and make the server. Well, no, I can do that. Did you worry? I will do that. Okay, keep these changes. I actually am going to delete the server TS completely. Yeah, I don't want it. Uh, I just want this here inside types GQL. There is no okay. We can find that in a second. But let's take a look to all of this. First, package JSON. Okay. Define your GraphQL schemas. So schema type defs. Yeah. So for defining a schema, we need type defs. No anything but GraphQL. Comments in GraphQL strings such as this start with the hash symbol. This book define. Okay, I think then we don't need any of this. So this is just GraphQL. We are going to define a task with ID, title, description, and status. Actually, the definition of this, we already done this. Oh, let me initiate. Uh, well, we're running out of time. We need to work a lot of things for defining these. So let's focus first on finishing the setup and defining details. We are going to do that tomorrow. So let me check the resolvers. For these resolvers, they ask us to define your data set. Okay, the data set will be in the models, so we need to take a look to the tasks. We imported Mongoose document and schema, export interface iTask that extends document, task schema says title, description, status, and it gets out that. So what does the resolver do? The resolver will give us a query if we get the task or get a specific task. Um, await task find. Do these? Okay, the connection needs to be changed. That we already know that. But I wanted to see task. Okay, it's the task schema. So yeah, it has the find. So for the other, it's unknown. We can find for the specific ID. And the mutations are create a task, open the task, or delete the task. So that's perfect. That's what we wanted. We can start playing with these around, but for the moment, we want. So it was a great session. I think we all learned a lot, especially me. I hope you learned something, and I was really delightful with this time with you. Great audience. So let me stop sharing my screen so I can say goodbye properly. Okay, perfect. So that will be it for today. Join me tomorrow. We can continue with this creation of our GraphQL server and API, right? Tomorrow we will finish the setup of the backend and we are going to implement similar to what we did today, frontend to consume that. We are going to style it. We are going to make modifications. I'm going to change the requirements, the original requirements, and we're going to see with that funny exercise how easy it is to scale to evolve your API using GraphQL, right? So thank you so much for joining and see you tomorrow. It's goodbye for today. And if you don't, or if you missed the stream tomorrow, or you missed any previous streams, don't worry. There's always the recordings in goalhackweek.mlh.io. Here's the link. Also, before I forgot, because oh my god, I always forgot something, let me share the link of the feedback with you. If you liked this session or if you didn't like it, let us know here on the feedback, right? So here it is, mlh.link slash global hack week feedback. And again, that was a pleasure. I hope to see you again. Bye.